Good morning and welcome to the Burlington Garden Center. I'm Bob Guth and I'm here today to try to encourage as many people as possible to enter things in county fairs. And so we're glad that you joined us. We're going to split this presentation up into about 5 or 6 different segments, and you can kind of check the graphics and pick out maybe the segments you want. In this first segment, I'm going to try and encourage people again to enter. For all the 4-H and FFA kids, you're already in it, and there's no need to try and persuade you to do so. So this is more for some of the older people. But to me, county fairs are one of America's prizes. And I've been exhibiting at the Racine County Fair now for over 60 years. I am a licensed judge and have been judging at a number of county fairs for a number of years. We've got other people here at the Garden Center that are expert at exhibiting as well and can provide encouragement and expertise to you if you're thinking about entering into the fairs. Debbie Polanski has been exhibiting at Walworth County Fair for a long time. Uta Voss is our contact at the Kenosha County Fair. Sandy Creighton has been exhibiting and helping out grandkids forever and ever at the county fairs. Marge Finke, one of our retired people, has been a superintendent at the Racine County Fair. And last year we even encouraged Beth Martin to enter in the Walworth County Fair. So I'm here to do that today, and particularly giving information for the 3 county fairs in the area, Racine, Kenosha, and Walworth, which I think are the best 3 county fairs in the state. And so for me, entering at the county fair, first of all, fulfills my sense of competition. I grew up doing things like playing sports and those kinds of things, and I like to compete. And the county fair allows you to do that. And I'm going to be emphasizing horticultural kinds of things today, but there are all sorts of different categories that you can enter at county fairs. And I'm going to look down and use my notes here, but if you've got animals you want to take, fine. Farm crops, vegetables, cut flowers, compositions, art and crafts, antiques, photography, woodworking, foods, food preservation, clothing, knitting, crocheting, home furnishings, on and on and on. All county fairs have a number of special competitions, and I'm sure you can find something that you'd be interested in and would like to enter. If somebody has told you that you make the greatest chocolate chip cookies in the world, well, there's a way to find out. Take them to the county fair and have them judged. Just yesterday, my daughter told me that one of her photographs is appearing in Time magazine this week. And if you think you can compete with my daughter, she will have photographs at the Racine County Fair, and you can see how you stack up with her. But a number of opportunities. I was checking the Racine County Fair list, and there's over 200 different entries in the horticultural area. So lots of possibilities, lots of opportunity for competition. Another thing that you get from entering county fairs is you gain knowledge and skill. Listening to judges evaluate, talking to other competitors, you can find out why and how things work. And so there's maybe a person that always gets the blue ribbon in acorn squash. Well, what variety do you use? What practices do you use? How do you accomplish that? And so as a way of gaining knowledge and expertise, county fairs are excellent. One of the things, once you enter the fair, you also get free entry into the fairs. And the fairs are, again, part of Americana, the greatest thing going in the summer, and they won't cost you any more than just the entry fee into the fair. But for me, the most important thing, and of course now I've been doing it for 60 years, and I started back in the 1950s, but it's the one chance during the year that you get to meet all those old friends that you had back when you were just starting 4-H, just starting FFA. Or for some people that have never done it, of course, this is your chance to meet at new friends. And so lots of different reasons for entering the county fairs. Good morning again. We're back talking about entering county fairs, and in this segment I want to talk about how you actually enter a county fair. In the old days, county fairs used to send out little booklets, and I brought one from the past. Here's a nice picture of I think it's from 2013, Racine County Fair, picture of a gal eating a cream puff. And by the way, if you show up at the Racine County Fair, stop down at the Farm Bureau booth. And on Friday, I'll be making milkshakes for you. They are the best food deal at the fair. But we're talking about entering the fair now. And nowadays, the fairs have gone to online entries. And so what you need to do is just Google Racine County Fair, Kenosha County Fair, Walworth County Fair, and they'll get you to the county fair site. And then you just need to hit the entry form heading, and it'll give you all the different areas that you can enter. Now, I don't know about Kenosha County Fair and Walworth County Fair. I know the Racine County Fair site is a little difficult to operate on. You might want to get one of your 8-year-old kids or grandkids to help you out on that, something like that. But it's real easy. At this time, however, the most important part of this is that you should go to that site and look at the entry possibilities. Now, the old booklet has about 200 pages of rules, regulations, but mostly of different things that you can enter. And so if you're thinking about entering things in the horticultural area, go to that section, see what the entries are, see what the possibilities are. In Racine County, there's over 100 different classes for vegetables. There's all sorts of classes for herbs. If you're into flowers, there's probably 40 or 50 different entries in the flower category. And if you're thinking about cooking or food preservation or any of those other things, make sure you look over all the different possibilities. Check the special competitions that exist as well. And then it's just a matter of entering into the competition. Make sure you check out what the due date is. Racine County this year, I believe, is June 21st. I'm going to look at my notes here for a minute. Kenosha County is here someplace, and it's going to be July 31st. And Walworth County, you have to enter by August 2nd. And so those dates are pretty definite. If you're thinking about entering, make sure you get your entries in online by those dates. If you're having trouble with that, you can always stop down to the fair office that's located in each fairgrounds. Racine County Fair is on Old Settlers Park on Highway 11 in Union Grove. Kenosha County Fair is right by Wilmot High School, and Walworth County Fair, of course, is just off Highway 11 in Elkhorn. And the fair offices will help you if you're having difficulty entering as well. But make sure you look over possible entries, and then make sure you get your entries in on time. We're back for part 3 of exhibiting at county fairs, and in this segment I want to talk about the actual growing of the different exhibits, especially in the horticultural field, that I'm especially interested in. You know, it's that time of the year, and come spring we're always interested in getting out and doing things. I hate to brag, but I did my first planting in the garden on the Ides of March. That's March 15th for some of you folks, and I was out yesterday checking it out, and the peas are sprouting, they're getting ready to come up. I assume that the radishes and spinach and other things that I planted are in a similar stage of development. And so the point is that it's time to start thinking about and getting going on growing things for the county fair. We don't have them here yet, and hopefully they'll be coming in next week, but it's time that the onion sets are in, a number of other things that should be planted now, but certainly making preparation, getting the ground prepared. If you're thinking about fruits and things like that, it might be some pruning, A lot of things can be done right now in preparation for the fair. As you think about those things, you've already checked the entry list. You've decided which of those entries that you might be thinking about doing. I would also recommend that you think about varieties. As you check the category, if one of those categories you thought you were going to get excited about was the biggest cabbage, well, you want to plant the right kind of plant to be successful in doing that. And you know, the stonehead cabbage and things like that, good, excellent cabbage, fabulous for eating, but it's not going to win a biggest cabbage competition. You need either the late Dutch flat or a megaton, which would be the desired one. And so if you're thinking about making that entry, get on in here and get that packet of seeds before they're all gone. The same thing might be true, and I even brought a couple here with me. You're going to grow sunflowers, and you know, we've got this, it says sunflower compact and great for cutting. Well, that's nice unless you're entering the largest sunflower contest, and there you got to think about getting that mammoth Russian sunflower that's going to give you that 1.5 feet in diameter sunflower head. Same thing in terms of kohlrabi. A lot of those, the Grand Duke and those kinds of things, excellent kohlrabi, but the best kohlrabi going, in all honesty, and the only one for the biggest kohlrabi contest is going to be your Cossack kohlrabi, which, as they advertise, gets as big as a bowling ball, and the bigger it gets, the sweeter it is. So make sure you think about that as well. The other thing you need to think about is when things need to be planted. And so you're thinking about maturity. If you're thinking about Racine County Fair, that's the first one. It's the end of July, always the last week. Kenosha County is the middle of August. Walworth County is the first weekend in September. Different things need to be planted at a different time so that they will mature just in time for the fair. Now, we'll talk about a little bit more about that in the next segment, but you gotta guess as close as possible. You might have to do successive plantings just in order to make sure that you have something in its prime during that season. But think about those kinds of things now. Be planning. Think about proper horticultural practices. When you exhibit things at the fair, you want the best possible specimen. You don't want any insect damage. You don't want any fungal damage. You want to do those practices that are going to encourage those types of things. Thinning, pruning, whatever you might do in terms of eliminating insects and disease. You're thinking about preparing. You want to get those things done so that come fair time, you will have the perfect exhibit for the fair. Okay, we're up to part 4 of exhibiting at county fairs, and this is the exciting part. We're getting ready to actually take the vegetables down to the county fairs. The key, without a doubt, it is the Bible of exhibiting at the county fairs, is a University of Wisconsin Extension pamphlet called Exhibiting and Judging Vegetables. These pamphlets are available online at the University of Wisconsin Extension website. It's called the Learning Store, Division of Extension, UW-Madison. You can just Google Wisconsin Extension, you will get there, and you want pamphlet A3306. Now in the old days, I used to just go down to Ives Grove to the office and pick these up. They were free. That's not the case anymore. Some of these, if you want, you're going to have to pay for. This one happens to be 85 cents, but it is also available online. You can just go online, you can read the whole thing, go back to it often as you want, but this is something that you want to read, you want to follow. This is important. It will talk about things like why you exhibit. We've done that already. Talk about growing vegetables. We've done that already. Planning for quality and quantity. We've done that already. But then there'll be a number of sections on exhibit requirements and particularly the characteristics of a good vegetable display. And I'll also talk about what judges actually judge on and what you should be thinking about as you prepare your exhibit. And I want to just talk about that a little bit real quickly. The extension kind of divides that judging into 4 different categories: quality, condition, freedom from injury, uniformity. They all make sense. What we're talking about really is when you bring an exhibit to the fair, you want to have an exhibit that if somebody were to want to buy your vegetables, they would be attracted to yours. They look good, the right size, the right color, they don't have blemishes, they're uniform, they look like they're ready to eat right now. And so, check out this pamphlet, but those are the kinds of things that we're looking for. As a judge, those are the kinds of things that I judge. And certain things will get you in trouble real quickly with a judge, at least with this judge. One of those things is dirt. Exhibits should not come to the fair dirty. Exhibits should not come to the fair with insect or fungal damage. And so keep that in mind as you are preparing exhibits. Get the best of what you have. Now, in a lot of cases, and some people do this, the morning you're supposed to be there, entries are open from 7 to 9 o'clock on Tuesday morning or whatever. People get up at 5 o'clock, go out to the garden and start preparing. Okay, if you want to do that, fine. I usually start preparing about a week or a week and a half ahead of time, picking. And the exhibitor's greatest friend is the refrigerator and plastic bags. You can start picking many of those perishable vegetables a week and a half ahead of time. Just get them into the refrigerator, put them in a plastic bag to keep the moisture in, and then you can accumulate more specimens to pick from. You never want to just pick 10 beans and hope that they're the best 10 beans. You might have to pick a bushel of beans in order to get the 10 that you want to have. And the same is true with many of those other, especially perishable ones. Things like watermelon, you can go out there the morning before, know the watermelon you're going to pick, and just take the knife out, cut off the stem, wipe off the watermelon with a wet rag, take it to the fair. For some of us, and again, many of us, last year I happened to look back, I took about 55 different vegetable entries to the fair. You have to accumulate those. My spare refrigerator is always full. My normal refrigerator is partly full. There's people that have 3 or 4 ice chests that they bring to the fair as they prepare to actually put the exhibits on the fair. So you want to do that. One other thing before I leave, make sure, and again, this pamphlet does an excellent job for this, it tells you how to prepare individual exhibits. So if you're bringing Brussels sprouts, it says uniform, firm, dark green color, trim stem to 1/4 inch, rinse thoroughly. Make sure you do that. Make sure you have the right number of entries. And it'll make things a whole lot easier. Hopefully later on toward the beginning of the fair season, we're going to come back at the Garden Center and have another one of these, hopefully in person kinds of sessions. And we can answer questions, help you out, give you some more details. But this is what you need to do. And if you enter the largest carrot contest, this is what we're looking for. Well, we're at the fair, and this again is the best time of the year. One of the things, make sure you know when the entries have to be in, and so that you're there on time. You got to give yourself plenty of time to actually get them in during the time allotted. You might have to bring, again, the grandkids along to help you out on that, but we're ready to go. And so we're at the fair. Once your entry is in, a couple things. I would, again, advise that you stay and watch the judging. And you learn so much. You get to talk to people. You know, this is a good time to ask your fellow competitors questions and stuff like that. But ask the judge questions as well. Find out what he's thinking, what she's thinking. Why did this get the blue and something else get the red? This is a fabulous time to increase your knowledge of how to prepare, what to do, and increase your success in further fairs. One of the things as well, and I have to say this for all the 4-H and FFK kids that are watching, of course, your judging is face-to-face. If you're entering the Kenosha County Fair this year, you and I are going to sit down at a table, and you're going to bring your exhibits in, and I'm going to talk to you. I'm going to ask you a number of questions, and so be prepared for those questions. I'm going to ask you about variety. I'm going to ask you about horticultural practices. I'm going to ask you about fertilization. I'm going to ask you about uses of your vegetables. All sorts of different things. And again, I love that face-to-face interaction with the kids, but understand I will ask you these questions before I give you your blue